All right, Coach, you're going to start with a statement, and we'll take questions.
Yes, thing I wanted to do is address the Lance Guidry situation. Lance has done a great job for us as a defensive coordinator. We got guys playing hard defensively, and our kids love him. Love him being around. Fortunately, Lance made a bad decision this past weekend, and very disappointed by it. By no means is what we represent here at WKU. Disappointed that it took a lot away from our guys and the work they've done. Ross and I met with Lance yesterday, and we talked about discipline actions. And Lance agreed to them, which he had to, and we feel like they're stern enough to deal with what we're going through. We understand that it's unacceptable. There's zero tolerance for from here on, and our entire staff understand that this could not happen again to our football program. We did a good job of getting us out of the negative perspective, and we got to continue to stay positive and a positive outlook for this football team. We will do that.
Do you worry that it might send a mixed message to some of the players that a player can be suspended for tweeting when Lance can go out and get a DWI and still be able to coach the next 2 games?
No, I don't. I think every situation is unique, and all of them are unique, and we deal with them all separately and different depending on what goes on. And good thing, Coach Guidry was up front and everything panned out. And like I said, I think each situation is unique in how you handle it.
What was the key, I guess? Well, it said in the statements that he was very forthcoming with everything. Did that play a big part in the way that you all handled this situation?
Yeah, it was. It was. And you want that, especially when things happen like that. So you want to be straight up and forward with you. And we always talk to our players about the same thing. When you make a mistake, you man up. You own up to your mistake, and you handle the consequences. You put yourself in that situation and you handle it. We tell our players the same thing. And you know what I'm saying? We put together a nice disciplinary action for Lance, and on top of that, he's going through a lot himself. He has a family, he has beautiful young girls that have to go to school and deal with that, and as court he's got to deal with. He's got a lot of other issues he's got to deal with too. So I'm sure this is hard on him and his family, but he put himself in this position, but we have his back, and we're gonna move forward.
Obviously, you decided not to tell the players until after the game at LSU. Do you feel that telling them would have been a distraction, or would have affected maybe not the outcome, but affected how they played?
No doubt. Again, when things like that catch you off guard, of course it's going to affect you. When you get something that's not expected and you've been focused and locked in on one common goal, of course it would have affected those guys. They're teenagers, and things like that happen. It's going to affect all of them. But I did a good job of standing up and apologizing to the team and letting them know what happened, and I think those guys accepted his apology and willing to still go out and work and have his back.
How do you, I guess, prevent that from being a distraction moving forward? I know you say you prepare for every game the same. Is it just kind of getting back to football?
Yeah, we have to. Our guys work too hard. Our guys work too hard this entire year to take a step back now. All our goals are still right there in front of us. We've been through a lot as a football program, and I told our staff and I tell the rest of our team, these next two football games, we owe it to our seniors to go out and do a little more, do a little extra, see to it that these kids can go out and leave this program as winners. They've been through a lot through this program. They sacrificed a lot, and we owe it to them as coaches and as the rest of the players to go out and give everything we can to see to it that they leave here as winners.
I asked Ross this yesterday, but do you plan on maybe instituting any sort of curfew for coaches? I know there's not really one in place, but do you plan on instituting anything that prevents them from going out like that when they're on trips?
Yeah. I think whenever a situation comes up, when situations like this come up, you learn from them and you try to make things better so that they don't happen again. And we go on the road. We go in there for one reason, that's to go to win a football game instead of this trip, and that's how it's going to be. Everybody's in the hotel. Everybody's going to stay in the hotel. And guys get off the road recruiting. They're going to come back to the hotel locked into the job that's at hand, and that's the win.
I think there's been some people question whether the same thing would happen. They brought up the situation, what if the player was over 21 and did this, like the week before a game? Would the consequences be the same? I know you said you handle every situation differently, but I mean, when something like this happens, do you factor in whether it's a player or a coach that goes out and makes a wrong decision?
No, again, I think they all different. All the situations are different, and you got to look at everything in hand, what goes on. And as a head coach, you got to understand. I mean, you're dealing with a good 120 different personalities and personnel in this group, and you got to look at the whole picture and how it affects the whole picture in each situation. So, I think it's, again, each situation is unique in how you deal with it.
What would you say to those people or fans or whatever that felt like that he should have been suspended or fired?
Well, I said what I just said. I mean, if they were the head coach, maybe they do that. I did what I felt was best for the football program, this team, and this university. And stick behind my decision. And we say, Lance understands that. Very disappointed by it, and our rest of our staff understand that this can't happen. It's not fair to our kids. Again, they work hard. They work really, really hard, and our coaching staff work really hard. So put ourselves in this negative position, and we can't let that happen.
You said that you thought it would have affected their play on Saturday, and in your statement yesterday, you used the word family. Is it a good thing that they would have had that kind of effect? Because when you mentioned family and you mentioned how it would have affected that, it's a tight-knit group. Is that a good? I mean, is that almost like a good problem to have? That
Before the game, telling you?
No, just the fact that you said it would have affected them. You used the term family yesterday. That if you had told them it would have affected their play, that that it is a family atmosphere with the team. That it's almost a good problem to have that they're that close, the coaches and the players.
Well, it's a great problem to have as close as the situation is not a great problem to have. But we always talk to our players about having each other's back. And coaches having the players' back, the players having our back. That's what families do. When you get in tough situations, you have each other's back. But there's consequences when you do make bad decisions. And all of us understand that. Our team understands that. Our coaches understand that. We're all adults. So the consequences come with bad decisions. And you got to deal with them as they come. You say nobody hurts more than Lance. Family. Not only you have to worry about how we discipline and the court system with his family, and how embarrassed they are. I can only imagine how his daughters feel going to school. It's got to be hard.
How does this affect recruiting and the relationships Lance has built with recruits so far this season?
I don't think it affects recruiting. No, not at all. Build relationships and guys understand and say Western Kentucky is going to sell itself. It's not just going to be just the coach. It's everybody that deals with Western Kentucky University, and so I don't think that affects it at all.
You plan on keeping Lance after the season? I mean, I guess there's some people that say there are only 2 games left and then they can deal with it, but he's still a part of the coaching staff.
He's coaching this week. He's part of the staff. We said what's done, and that's what's going to be done.
We've had
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.